Okay, I think I might be live, and I've got my hat and glasses on again. Just to remind you that this is the third and final episode in the three-part series on the best books on Taoism and Tai Chi in the known universe. And today we're going to be looking at pure Taoism, not any Tai Chi business or your Tao Te Ching. 4 books that don't rely on mysticism to inform you about the basic principles of Taoism. So welcome to day 3. And if you haven't watched the first 2 episodes, which were yesterday and the day before, they're naughty. You should have watched them first before this one. But you can still do that by scrolling down the bottom of this timeline. You'll find them under there somewhere, or probably on my YouTube channel, teapotmOnk. Right, so we looked at the best books on Tai Chi, the best interpretations of the Tao Te Ching. But what happens if it's all still a bit too vague and you'd like a little bit of clarity about what Taoism is really all about? Well, that's what we're going to be doing today, looking at the best 4 books to fill in the gaps, make sense of the senseless, and help dispel the clouds of obscurity that seem to be plaguing these shores these last few days. Okay, so what's the chart? Well, the top 4, and in 4th position is the way and its power. Got a picture of the front there. Probably can't see it, it's a bit dark here. Oh well, I'll stick them in underneath on the comments. So number 4 is The Way and Its Power, Tao Te Ching and Its Place in Chinese Thought by Arthur Waley. No, not Arthur Daly, Arthur Waley. It's really another version of the Tao Te Ching, so it's sort of not really should be here. But about half of the book is the Tao Te Ching, but the first half is a really excellent historical context and introduction to Taoism that I would recommend. It's not a light read. I wouldn't recommend digging into it just before bed, nor is it a gripping mystery page-turner, but it's a useful all-rounder for your Tai Chi library. And if you'd like not to have to purchase a copy of the Tao Te Ching and a copy about Taoism, well, this sort of fills in the middle gap somewhere there. Okay, 3rd, let me just see if I can get the title up for you for this one, see if you can see that one. Can you see that one? Don't know whether you can see it or not. Yeah, it's called The Drift. And it's a book that's not even yet been published. How's that for hot off the press? Well, it's not even on the press yet, so it's hot before the press, if such an expression exists. So this is a book called The Drift by Anthony Gilbert. And you may think, where have I heard that name before? Well, Anthony, you may have remember Anthony from his days as publisher of Into Mountains Over Streams, IMOS, the online mind-body journal that was fairly important a few years back. Anthony was also a published poet, and he's imminently about to publish a new book, The Drift, of which I was lucky enough to receive a review copy last week. We are just part of the surface of the earth manifesting itself, writes Gilbert. And indeed, there are many references to the Tao Te Ching throughout this work, but these are placed in context. References to the power of water, returning to the source, paths and pathways, finding your true self. Better said, creating yourself en route, says Anthony. All beautifully explored, unveiled, if you like, exposed through the gentle tales of a gentle traveller and his dog. It's illustrated with some very beautiful photographs, and the book proposes, and this is what makes it feature in this chart, is the very small steps that we can all take to find where goodness lies, the details, the ordinariness of life, where we can have the most impact. And it's in this way that he introduces the Confucian principle of living your life as if you can make a difference, as if your small contribution will still have an effect. Well, that's Anthony Gilbert and The Drift. Keep an eye out on my Facebook page or my my website, and I'll let you know when it becomes available. He assures me it will be in digital and paperback form. Good man. Living in the 21st century at last. That man, I don't know. Anyway, in second place is, let's see if we can bring the picture of it up. Not this, you're not probably gonna see it at all, but anyway, there it is. It's John Blowfields' Taoism: A Quest for Immortality. Now, this is the book to go to, the book that sparked mine and many others' interest in the lesser-known philosophical roots of Tai Chi, and for me acts as the key reference text for most of my online Tai Chi courses, particularly my 12-month course to become an immortal. I'll add the link below in the comments to this page, and even offer a special code. So in the early 1930s, John Blowfield abandoned his academic life in the second year of his studies at Cambridge, I think it was, and he went off to live in China. For many years he travelled the mountains and the monasteries and talking to priests and sages and wise ones, hermits and bean-curd boxers, and returned back to London to study Chinese, Japanese, Korean and Malaysian. Then in the Second World War, short-term as a spy, before he once again returned to China. And what makes his work very interesting was that he had the opportunity to study and learn from mystics before the Cultural Revolution, and so had many first-hand experiences that would be lost to travellers today. Blowfield writes with a simplicity, great insight, and manages to avoid reducing the whole subject to simple wishful thinking. His writing is engaging. Well, he actually can write, this man, and above all, his messages come across as relevant today as at any time in the long history of the philosophy. So as I mentioned earlier, he sent us a lot on Taoism and on the concept of immortality, or better said, expanding the richness of the moment, fully living in the present. Oh, my hat's gone. Oh, there it is, it's back. And, sorry, just got distracted by a message there. Living fully in the present and extending life in the sense of slowing down time by paying more attention to what is important. A very powerful concept, and one behind many practices of Tai Chi. And of course, hello Lindsay, hello. And of course, as I said before, it provided me with a basis for my 12-month Immortality Tai Chi course. Anyway, enough of that. I'll link to it in the notes underneath. Lindsay, you'll need to catch the previous 3 books, especially the one by Anthony Gilbert that I think you'll be very interested in. Anyway, finishing off on John Blowfield's book. Unfortunately, the book's out of print and it's not available in digital format. Ooh. So you'll have to search for a second-hand copy. So, drum roll, what's in the first place? What's the first book in the known universe? Well, in the number 1 slot is Michael. I'll see if I can find the cover before I announce it. There it is. See if you can see that. No? Well, I don't know. I'll put them underneath. Michael Poit and Christine Groslow's The Path. And accessible, full of fine examples, and doesn't confine itself to the traditional framework of Taoist text. This book, in fact, goes beyond and explores so much of Chinese philosophical history. In doing so, it places Taoism and the Tao Te Ching within a greater context of Asian thought. Now, for something as all-inclusive as Taoism, this may appear a contradiction, but like Tai Chi, we all need to step back from these principles and ideals occasionally to try and see where they fit into a wider framework. And for certainly any purists out there, and I know you're out there, this isn't the first time we've met, you won't enjoy this book, for it's not exactly neutral in dealing with Taoism, and in fact it's quite critical of some aspects of it, but that's also quite an interesting thing, and Taoists should certainly open themselves to that, if anyone should. So there's a lot to learn when you place these ideals alongside others, when you see where Taoism overlaps with other philosophical, historical traits, timelines, where they conflict or perhaps where they sit comfortably side by side. The chapters on Confucius and Mencius particularly offer tremendous insights that personally I'd previously overlooked. So if you wish to break out of the hypnotic, mesmerizing, internalized sort of rather incestuous field sometimes that Taoism inhabits, do take a look at The Path. Well, that's the end of my mini live series. That's the end of this trilogy. I'm just going to flip the hat on and off like that for a second, just to celebrate. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any suggestions for further series, please leave a comment below and I'll read it and contemplate. If you're thinking, nah, that's enough words, give me some practice, then you know where to go. Come over to learntaichi.online and discover more. I'll leave a link and a special code for anyone who was keen to try out the Immortality course. Otherwise, I'll be back next month with something unexpected, no doubt. Make sure you've liked this page to get notified when the next series begins. Thanks again for watching and for listening. Do let me know that you visited. Leave a reaction, comment, or share with someone who thinks might like the video. See you soon.